Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Queen Cup Tarot. I am doing another installment of downloads of a Lightworker. For those that are new, I am doing something a little bit new with the channel. In addition to, of course, the monthlies, which I'm known for, your monthly general readings. And when I can, I will do mid-month readings. These are going to be general downloads. As I've been open with you guys, I'm going through my own ascension and awakening process, and there's been so much information that I have downloaded. There's been a lot of DNA memory I've been able to tap into. And more than kind of, educate, I'm more sharing and wanting to start a dialogue, right? So I definitely ask that you engage, comment, ask questions, let me know your thoughts about the topic in particular. Today's installment is going to be surrounding death, I guess you could say, in the physical form. I want to address cremating and being buried in coffins. This might seem a little bit random, but trust me, it will kind of make sense once I go through a little bit about my thoughts and the downloads that I got surrounding these topics. Okay, so these downloads for me came up. They've been coming up through years. I experienced a lot of loss. I've probably buried about 7 people with my last name before the age of 20. Okay. So I was very, I went to a lot of funerals and wakes, and that's not even, including, the friends, and I've experienced a lot of death. Okay. And I look at, maybe because of how young I was when I was exposed to it, I understand how I'm very aware of how present it is in the life cycle. Not that you're not present. It's just that some people who don't experience a lot of death earlier on might take for granted relationships and how quickly they can leave you. Okay. Long and short, it got me to really think about myself. Okay. And for some reason, I could not come to a conclusion of whether or not I wanted to be buried in a coffin or if I wanted to be cremated. And I ask you that before we even go ahead. Ask yourself, would you rather be buried in a coffin or cremated, which are typically the options that are presented to you by society of how you go out, right? Well, here's my issue with that, okay? I received a lot of downloads of my own DNA memory and how uncomfortable I am with either being buried in a coffin and then being buried or being cremated. So then I asked God, I said, okay, then how do I want to do it that will make me comfortable? What does it look like? And he showed me. Okay. I'm going to share to you what he showed me, and then I'm going to share to you what I download after that. He showed me, it was me, dead, wrapped in, and it might have been from another lifetime or never happened at all, and this is what I'm, part of my mission in my own personal life is to go out this way. I'll find a better way to explain that. I saw myself wrapped up by 2 or 3 loved ones and placed in the ground with some flowers. There was singing and hand holding surrounding my hole. And there was nothing more than a piece of cloth covering my body. And then I proceeded to get downloads of me being in the soil and Mother Earth consuming me. Everything from the bugs to the birds that eat the bugs to, I saw the ecosystem if that makes any sense. I saw ecologically what happens when our flesh goes into soil. It makes it rich. You'll spout flowers. So now, why I believe it's evil. Why I believe coffins and being cremated is actually negatively impacting our life cycles and is messing up the healing that happens in between reincarnation, which is forcing us to do more of that healing here. Okay? I believe that being buried in a coffin comes from a very superficial belief system, stemming back as far as I'm aware to Egyptian times, where pharaohs and emperors and these people, pharaohs and things and whatever, wanted to be buried with their things, their gold, their fortune. They didn't want to leave. They wanted to stay here. Therefore, they buried themselves and mummified themselves in these coffins with their gold and their riches, instead of allowing the earth to absorb them and take them back to God and give their riches and their material wealth to the slaves that built everything that they hold so dear. Okay? I believe that that's what burial was about, was to keep you here because you wanted to stay with all your wealth. This is my interpretation, guys. I'm dying to know yours. I want to know your thoughts. I do not want to be attacked for it because I'm not with the shit. Anyway. I believe that when you put your body, first and foremost, we go through our whole lives consuming from Mother Nature. We'll never be able to give back to Mother Nature what we took in this lifetime. So, the least we could do is bury ourselves. Our body, give ourselves, our body, our flesh, and what's left of it back to Mother Earth. Not only does that make her rich, I believe Mother Earth plays a very pivotal role in a lot of the healing that happens from the damage that's done from the lifetime you just lived. I believe that Mother Earth, when buried and absorbed by her, helps bring you and transport you to God in a way you can't be transported when you are locked in a coffin. You should be buried and dug up in a year or two and ain't nothing supposed to be there. Maybe some bones, but I mean, even that will start to be absorbed over time and calcify and break down. So it's like, how much a part of the ecosystem are you? How much of a part of the ecosystem do you want to be? You want to have understanding, you want to have clarity, but it's like, are you too like the Egyptians that wanted to just stay here, that were so attached to their things and their worldly experience that it disconnected them from what truly matters, which is the relationship you have with God? Okay? The bond. And I'm going to do a separate video that talks about that connection and that bond and how that deepens during your own ascension, and then what you can gain from it, or at least what I did so far in my journey. All right? Yeah. I think that's all I really wanted to talk about on the burials. I want to know what you guys think about this. You know, being buried. Do you want to be buried in a coffin? Why? Is it something your family members did? Is it something you just deem normal? Or have you ever been downloaded to think of something different, but it was so random and weird that you just kind of put it out of your head, or you thought, well, I'm too young, it's not something I'd want to think about, you know? Or maybe you felt uncomfortable with being buried and thought being cremated was a better alternative, but even that didn't sit well with you, and wonder why. Is there a way? Is our dead bodies completely have no value and should be just, you know, narcissistically locked away in a $10,000-$20,000 box that feeds into an industry that doesn't serve your reincarnation process, doesn't serve, you know, anything, doesn't serve the community, you know, that has supported you all your, like, listen, I don't know. I would love to know you guys' thoughts on this. All right. Yeah, I love you guys. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, email me directly if you don't want to, you know, you have a question or want to discuss something you don't want to on the platform, because this could be a touchy subject. You know, we're talking about death and things like that. But, you know, when we talk about, even in tarot, the death card, we talk about the death and the rebirth. Do you really truly believe you can rebirth in the way God intended to if you are encapsulated in and not being absorbed by nature the way you should? I don't know. These are my thoughts. Would love to know yours. So yeah, until the next time I see you, let your inner angels live. Bye.